Welcome to Women in Leadership, The Power Within. This is a program that delves into the experiences, the strategies, and the principles that have defined some of Africa's most influential female leaders. And today, we have a great one. She's known for global excellence in HR. She has worked for Coca-Cola Africa. She has worked for African Development Bank. And she has also worked for Safaricom. I'm talking about Mariah Shipiri. Welcome, Mariah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's such a joy to have you on the show.
It's lovely being here.
Now, I've talked about where you've been, I've talked about what you've done, you know. And if those were stripped off you, who is Mariah?
Oh, Maria. Maria is that girl that used to like to climb trees. That girl that is curious, that likes to go to places she's never been, that loves snakes.
Likes what?
Snakes.
Really?
Yeah, people don't like them, but I like them. They have different colors and they look nice. They're dangerous, like people are.
What do you like about snakes?
They're just curious creatures. And I just wonder how they live. I wonder where they sleep, and I wonder why people don't like them. Yeah, and also Maria is a mother of a daughter called Wendy, wife to Alex, a sibling, and with a lovely living mother. So yeah, so I'm just a girl who likes to enjoy life.
Okay. Growing up, you must have come from a home. You know, I'm curious to know about the home. How, you know, at what point did you realize that there's more, there's power within me, there's something I can do, you know? At what point did you realize that?
I think mostly when we were living in Kitale, on a farm. And I used to wonder why my mom is always keeping more chicken, why my dad is, you know, driving to go and work in Kakamega at the time, about an hour and a half drive.
So you would come from Kitale to Kakamega and back?
Yes,
Wow.
yes, yeah. I mean, I call it Kitale, but it's really soy. Those who know soy, it's
Yes,
part of
I know
Kakamega,
soy.
but yeah,
Yes,
Kitale. So my dad would wake up very early to go to work. My mom would wake up and she would always keep increasing the number of chicken we have or any agricultural program. Then I asked myself, why can't I contribute? I mean, I'm still a child, but can I sell an egg? Or can I have my own chicken and have my own chicken on the side when my mom has hers? And see how things go. So I realized that irrespective of your age, with all that happens around you, you can contribute.
So you actually kept your own chicken on the side?
Yes, I kept my own chicken, mostly the chicken that was given by my grandmother. You know how grandmothers bring a chicken and say, I love you, take this chicken, you don't want it to be eaten. So you make rules around it. This is my chicken, and it's going to lay eggs and it's going to have chicks. So I kept my chicken, but when I would come from school, I ask about my chicken and they say, oh, you know,
we slaughtered
but the
it.
children are somewhere around there. So, yeah, that's what made me think about how do I contribute, whether I have skills or not, or whether I don't even know. Only when you contribute, then you learn about the process of raising a chicken, how long it takes for a chick to grow up, when it starts to lay its eggs. You understand the whole ecosystem around chicken and life.
Chicken, yes.
Yeah.
Now, growing up, there's a time you lost your sister when you were quite young. I can't begin to imagine how it felt because I lost a friend when I was in primary. She was called Ruth. It was so much pain. So how was it and what did it do to you? And you know, loss can bring, can build, it can destroy. What did that do to you?
Okay, so I lost my sister Anne Vutagwa. When I was in campus in my second year.
How old was she?
She was quite young, maybe 22, 23. Very beautiful girl. And she died by suicide.
Oh.
So it was a very painful death, you know, finding a body after it stayed in a house for a couple of days. That was really hard. And I remember that time we did not know that it's called depression.
Yeah.
But I remember I didn't want to go to class. I was a sporty girl. I didn't want to play sports. But after some time, I got out of it, courtesy of my friends on campus, and specifically one friend called Mercy. And then after I got out of it, I said, I have to do something about it. I don't want... First of all, I told myself, I don't want to die by suicide.
Absolutely.
That's a decision I made. And I don't want to get into any, should I say, depressive type of situation. So when I feel that I'm heading towards that direction, I have the strength to pull myself out. And if I can pull others out, I'm very happy. And that's one of the reasons why I sit on a board in Zimbabwe of Friendship Bench, which deals with their mental health.
Wow.
So I think out of that experience, I learned to, one, pull myself out, help pull others out.
Yeah.
Even in my career as an HR person,
Yeah.
when I realized that people are heading towards that side, I would do anything in my power
To
pull,
help
yes, to
them.
pull them out.
Oh, wow.
So that has shaped the kind of person I am and also the kind of profession that I became.
You became, oh wow. You have a lot of resilience. Could that have come also from that? Because I see a lot of grit, a lot of, resilience. What do you say about that resilience? Where?
I think some grounding things. One is I was grounded by a very strong father. He was a headmaster. So having a headmaster that was as strong as Mr. Ligaga, you definitely get grounded. So you're strong, generally. Both, you even believe you're physically strong,
Absolutely.
I would see my dad chase after students, boys at Kabete Technical.
Wow.
And I would even chase behind him. So I just built that strength, inner strength that I have. Second, I think my
So you
mom...
felt secure?
I felt
security.
secure. Yes, I feel there's nothing I
Protected.
cannot do. Even if you do something and you don't get to the front,
Yeah.
just start doing it.
Yeah.
So that's built me. I think also having my daughter at a very young age, when I was in campus, and how it is in campus where everybody's like, oh my God, she's pregnant, she's failed, she's finished, you're useless, you need to get married to any man that is in front of you. So I told myself, hey, so this has happened, now I have to move on. And I do have a child to feed. So that definitely enabled me to push any doors and anything that I needed to do. I think also my spirituality, being grounded in God, and knowing that He's always there for me, has enabled me to be very resilient. Even as I walk into the claws of a hyena or a lion, I know that I am okay.
I'm thinking about some of the positions you've held, like organizational effectiveness change, at African Development Bank, and thinking that to get there must have been mentors. So I'm looking at your mentorship at family level, which you've already mentioned your dad, and maybe could say more, at the place of worship and in the marketplace. Who do you look at and feel, these people have been, such a help to me?
So I've been mentored, I would say directly and indirectly, because I think if you want to be mentored, you need to find the mentors yourself.
Absolutely.
You don't need to be given the mentors.
You need to be intentional.
Exactly. You don't need to sit back and say, oh, I need a mentor. No, go find them. Some of them are people you follow. Some of them are people whose books you read. Some of them are people you meet. Some you may never meet. Some,
that's true.
So I think I looked out for mentors, maybe because I was curious, and that included my neighbors. If their cow had more milk than ours, I would go and find out why.
Why?
And I would ask them. So learning how to ask the right questions to your mentors is really important. I think my dad, I just saw him as a strong person.
Up there, yes.
Yeah, and we were living in Kabete Technical, so there were so many students, and I wondered how one person can manage all these boys. And I think they were always, I remember my dad coming home saying, somebody was smoking, somebody was taking some bangi, and it was just like really scary stuff, and he was able to manage. And then I think my mom was rarely at home because she was very busy doing business. At that young age, she would drive from Nairobi in a truck to Busia to bring cotton at night, and then come back the following morning and sell the cotton at thicker cotton mills those days.
Wow.
So I saw what my parents were doing, and I realized that I also needed to be somebody.
Absolutely.
And that really helped me grow. At the workplace, I was mentored a lot by my colleagues. I can mention, some in Coca-Cola, one of the best places I worked, we had Carol Wainaina, who always challenged us to be the best. And she would tell us that I may not have the best, but you look for the best. And when you get it, know that I'll support you, whether it is a tool or an approach to some of the problems that we had. Susan Githuku, Josephine Mbithi, who works for UNFPA now. I also had a lot of male mentors who was our bosses, our presidents, because they would always challenge you. And that's what I loved about Coca-Cola. It was an environment where they challenged you.
Yeah.
And I think other people from a spiritual perspective, you'd see not necessarily that you're praying at work. I mean, many workplaces you don't do that.
Yeah.
But you can see how they are living some sort of Christ-like life.
Absolutely.
You can see how they approach a disciplinary.
Absolutely.
When somebody has gone wrong, you can see
Their
how
grace.
they do it. Yes, their grace, their human
humane,
side, how they would counsel people that needed counseling. So those observing them was a very nice way of me learning and trying to copy or even go beyond.
Now that you're looking at people who helped you, how have you intentionally, how are you looking out to those that are down to pull them, to mentor them, Do you have mentees?
Yeah.
Are you doing anything intentionally in that area?
So in many ways, I think one is teen moms. So myself and a friend called Catherine Bukachi. Actually, on the 14th of February, we are going to a teen moms, we call it a sanctuary, in Ongatarongai, to go and mentor ladies that had children when they are quite young.
Oh,
unfortunately, this was at age of 13, 14, 16, quite young.
Yeah.
Just to tell them that, hey, that's not the end of your life. You can be whatever you want to be. So teen moms, mentorship programs, also in the HR profession. So I speak a lot to people that are trying to get there. Some of them I even tell them, I don't think you're in the right profession of HR. Because some people take papers to qualification to be in a role. And I think that is, any job is beyond any papers. So
it's purpose.
It is, exactly. It's purpose. And also it's your abilities. Because you may have a paper, but you're not able to do something. So perhaps find what you're able to do.
What you have passion for.
Exactly. Yeah, passion and also capability. Because you can like something so much, but perhaps your role is somewhere within that space. So you may find some people are CEOs, but they're probably their best being CFOs. So you have to find a way of compensating and being a CEO that is actually a CFO. So of course, I've mentored in the workplace in my various roles. And then also at home, I've got siblings, I've got aunties, I learn from them. I hope I mentor them. I do get sometimes some statements of thank you, Mariah, for helping me with this, or thank you for telling me to buy a house. I think I also mentor my daughter. She seemingly is following me. And I think also one important one is because some of the mentors are not accessible.
Yeah.
A friend of mine called Topi and I have formed an association, and it's through a program where we want to mentor virtually. And it's called Prosper Mentors. So we want to put mentors in a space, and then hopefully they can be available for many, many other people, because the demand is quite high.
You know how there's counseling, you have a line that you can call.
Yes.
That's what you want to do for mentorship.
Exactly, for mentorship. From leadership to even skills, because sometimes you don't know where to get the skill. You don't want to just pick a course online, but you want someone to talk to you about getting the right skill. Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the first strategy has always been doing extra. I wouldn't say working hard, I would say doing extra. Because you can work hard, and if you're harvesting maize, instead of harvesting 10 bags, you'll harvest 15. I think yes, you can harvest 15, but you can also dig and plant the next crop. So I think going the extra.
And being innovative.
Yeah, being innovative, and then solving problems. And then when you don't know, learn. If you can learn really quickly, do so. Yeah. So right now, I mean, I'm kind of retired, after 50, trying to discover myself. And I'm when I speak to some young people, they're like, oh, you know all this about AI. You mean you're using this tool? All your presentations are Gamma. And I'm like, you guys are in your 30s, you're supposed to be teaching me. So I like to learn all the time. So I think that's another thing that has helped me to grow, is just that willingness to learn. I moved from NGO sector to Coca-Cola, such a big brand, and I did not know much about marketing, even a lot about P&L. And I got myself a coach. I found out who the best coach is.
Oh, beautiful.
I spoke who's the best finance person, so and so, who's the best marketer. Rita, who's this? And then I put a program together for myself, and I taught myself.
Oh,
so
wow.
I think that ability to first accept that you don't know,
Exactly.
and then own the plan,
Exactly.
and then follow it through.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, at work, at workplaces, they sabotage. There are people who will sabotage you, you know, when you're in a place, you know, and how do you handle sabotage? How do you handle that and still remain authentic? Because you know you can also get so offended and mess up yourself because somebody's sabotaging you. And with that also, I'm thinking about relationships at work. There are times when somebody just betrays you, you know. You think this person is very close to me, and then you realize, you know, they're going behind your back, which is still the sabotage I'm talking about. How do you handle that? And have you had cases, you know, you may not necessarily mention a place, but you can tell us, have you gone through that, and how would you advise people to handle that?
I think so. In terms of sabotage, early in my career, I was working in a place where I was promoted. We were all secretaries, and I was the one selected to be promoted. And those are the days when we used to use typewriters. So we had one of the things we used to do was to have annual meetings.
Yeah.
And for the young people who don't know, you type, there's a space in the card, you type name of the person, the organization. So you had to type about 200 cards. So all the cards used to be distributed to all the secretaries, and then they would type, bring them to the administration team, and then they would distribute them through the drivers. So there was one particular lady who was supposed to send the cards out on a Monday by midday, and at 10 o'clock, 2 hours before, she came, and I remember she threw the cards at me and says, the fact that you've been promoted, you think you can tell us what to do now that you're no longer a secretary, you know. I remember picking the cards one by one myself on the floor. I went in, typed them. I called the drivers.
Wow.
I told them to stand by. Luckily, the drivers were my friends. Kamau and Odero, I remember, were my friends. And I typed and I typed and I typed the whole night, like throughout, and started telling them, please send, please send, please send. Then after I did that, now they actually gave me the energy to say, this cocktail is going to be wonderful.
You know?
Yes, I began calling people up. And of course, my colleagues who were sabotaging the process came for the cocktail to see how it was failed. And they enjoyed it even more than me. And I was happy that they enjoyed it. So I think sometimes embrace people that are against you.
Yeah.
Find other people that can help you in that particular situation, and all of you celebrate. All of us will learn from that situation.
You know, you make me think of something. As you've grown in your roles, this may not have happened to you, but can you imagine somebody who has just betrayed you and you know that there's a promotion coming for them? How would you handle that?
Oh, I'll give it to them.
Okay.
Yeah,
Depending on, yes.
I mean, I'm a merit-based, ethical person.
Absolutely.
If somebody deserves a promotion, even if they're my biggest enemy, or that promotion will enable them to now fight me proper, I will give it to you.
That's maturity.
Oh, I'll give it to you, and because work is not the end of my life.
Exactly.
I mean, yes, we spend 8 hours, 9 hours, but after that there's life, there are friends, there are relationships. So I'll not get stuck into denying you what is probably yours.
Absolutely.
If you're not qualified, I will be the first person to tell you what you could do differently, and that this role is not for you. I will tell you. So the same way I'll give you, the same way I'll also give you feedback regarding other roles that you'd qualify for, or why you don't qualify for that.
So you try to be objective.
Completely. It should not be personal. It should not be personal. Because it's difficult to take care of everybody's personal needs.
Absolutely.
But it is possible to include them in the understanding, and hopefully we can all win-win together.
But you don't want to look at they're attacking me, you know, they are.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're attacking me, I'll just stand like this, and you will need to attack the next person, and that's so much energy for you. I actually feel sorry for you, because I don't know how much energy you'll have to fight the world. You'll never succeed. So.
You know, as we grow, as people grow into positions, a lot of people who have gone into leadership positions have certain disciplines. What are those disciplines you think about that help people to grow?
I think, do you mean like sort of behavior such as working hard, networking?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think one is helping other people. When you help other people, you will be surprised as to how they will help you, even when it's completely unconscious. So that's ability to give, give your knowledge, give your resources if you have them. At home, give your house girl, give your watchman, give your siblings. So that's that ability to give, whatever it is that you have. When you give, you actually open yourself up to learning, to knowing people, to see, because when they react, you also get sometimes a positive feeling, or you get a question in your mind. So I think that behavior of giving is a good one.
Okay.
I think also, as I said earlier, learning, and learning from people that you don't expect to learn.
I know, right?
Yes. A lot of people come to me because they want to learn so they can get promoted to the level of, let's say, a CHRO. And some of the people that I'm so attracted to mentoring are people who don't know what they want. And I like it because they just don't know. Because sometimes you want to follow a specific path, and that might not be a path. But people who just don't know, they have no clue, are quite wonderful to work with, because the world has so many opportunities for all of us. So I think that ability to not know, to make yourself, should I say, naive, then opens you up to anything that is in front of you.
You don't have to know everything.
No, in fact, you don't know.
You
Not
don't
that you don't
know.
have to know. You don't know.
Okay.
Because what you knew today,
Okay.
tomorrow is different. So those of us who practice HR right now, I look at us, I look at some of the networks that we have, all these courses of pay, attend a course, I look, I'm like, these courses are actually redundant. And not many of us are even spending time to learn AI. I go for presentations and I see people struggling even with Excel.
You know?
I'm like,
I know, right?
Things have changed. So people thinking that I have the paper, I've practiced, now I have the title. I've even put Mariah, Shipiri, I don't know, CHRP, this, that, engineer, to all these things. Some of those things are redundant. So that ability to humble yourself and say, I don't know, let me learn.
Oh, wow. I'm going to take a short break, then we come back to our good conversations.
Okay.
Now, we are broadcasting today from the Novotel Hotel, a stunning place, a place that mirrors the excellence of the kind of women that we are featuring on this program. So we'll be right back. Back to women in leadership. Now remember, we are talking to a powerhouse in HR. No, and that's Mariah, Ligaga, Shipiri. Now I want to know, what are these principles that you cannot compromise on? Those 3 principles that you think about when you're doing your work. Yes.
I think the first one is ethics. So when an ethical line is crossed, then you cross me. I think those who know this, I had a court case that I think has become jurisprudence when I took my best employer ever to court, Coca-Cola, because they were paying me money and I was not working. I mean, I was driving my Prado to work and sitting on a beautiful desk, but I had no work. And I kept complaining, So I don't want to feel that money is so important, that you're giving me money, you're giving me a big brand, but I'm not contributing. So for me, that was...
work for it.
Yes. Yeah, I want to work. I want to be paid when I'm working. I don't want to receive free money. So I think that is one, the ethical line, and that's, even personal and even professionally. When someone crosses the ethical line, then there we'll have a great conversation. I think the second one is care for other people, and especially the community. I remember when I worked in Mumias Sugar. And
you worked in
I did. It was actually, people told me I was mad. How do you leave Coca-Cola, a great brand, and go to be based, from Upper Hill, the beautiful office of Coca-Cola, to Mumias Sugar, a place that has smoke? I was like, that's what I want. I want something different.
Yeah. So
when I worked there, one of the issues we had, and Evan Skidero was my really great supportive boss, the biggest issue was over 50% of the employees were on negative pay. So every month they're earning no salary, and they're working for the company. So I told Evans, this can't be right. So eventually we decided to change some policies to allow people to start earning money. Because when people are on negative pay, if they're in your house and your house girl is on negative pay, it means she's she's eating your food,
Struggling,
most likely.
yes,
She's eating your food.
yes.
And if that is 2 years, so eventually we came up with some ways of managing the negative pay. And the biggest one was to prevent people from drinking alcohol on credits in the clubs that were all around Mumias. And we had about 3 clubs. So people would leave work and go and take alcohol. And, you know, some of them would go home or they would not go home. And initially the union fought us, but after discussing with Atwoli and negotiating with Evans, the union accepted that. And again, it was the law anyway.
Absolutely.
So eventually, one time I was driving to the workplace and the lady stopped me. And she asked me, "Are you Maria?" I said, "Yes." So I didn't really know what she wanted. And then she told me, "Thank you. Thank you for bringing my husband home.
Oh, wow.
Thank you for allowing my husband to be the father of his children. Now he's able to go through their homework." And that's simply because he could not now access alcohol or credit.
Absolutely.
And now he leaves work and goes home. So for me, that care that extends even beyond work, right into the communities, guides me a lot. Yeah.
When you talk about that, you make me think of how people talk about work-life balance. I don't know whether it's integration or balance, you know. What do you have to say about that, you know, work-life balance? How do you...
I think it's more of integration, and it's more of choosing what works for you as an individual. So if you want to take on a remote role because it works for you, because you have your onions to plant and you also want to contribute as a products engineer, I think that work-life integration is your decision. What I just tell people is to be ethical. You know, choose what works for you, because sometimes people take on a role, they haven't declared their full truth to themselves.
Absolutely.
Leave alone filling a declaration form to the employer. And then you find you're struggling and waking up at 6 a.m. You're doing a poor product dev role. Your onions are struggling. Workers are shouting at you. So I think just find a way of integrating your work with your life and your ambitions. And I think the decision should be yours. And then once you have it, then let your employer know that this is what I can do, this is what I cannot do.
What are some of those practices that you think that HR people should have? Or what could you say about the HR role, you know, in an organization? I know there's much to say about it, but just the short that comes to your mind.
I think what people do not understand about the HR role is that the HR role is not there to take care of people.
Absolutely. Okay.
The HR role is there to take care of the business of the organization, and that is done through people. The person that employees report to in the morning is not the HR department. The person employees report to is their line managers. So HR is there to take care of the business. HR will put in place policies that will take care of the business. So if HR is implementing a policy around employee well-being, they're taking care of employees because they're taking care of the business. So the most successful HR people start with the business side. And the business side always has the customer in mind.
Okay.
So if you're working in insurance, the people who buy your policies is the customer. So the HR person should be thinking about that customer. And
but the staff is also your customer.
Yes, that is an internal client that you're serving.
Absolutely.
But the reason they're employed is to make sure that, for example, they put in place a digital app for the customer, because the customer wants a smooth journey to buy an insurance cover. So the person you need to, as HR now, you need to make sure that you have the tools, make sure that you're trained, that of course that you're the right person, and that you're motivated. Now that's the role of HR, but it's the customer that's on the mind of HR.
Oh, wow.
And for you to take care of the employee, you must know them.
Absolutely.
You know, you must put in place change initiatives. But so HR exists to take care of that customer that is outside there, whatever that business is for the organization. But a lot of people say, oh, HR don't listen to me, HR don't do this. I think you should shift that conversation and have it with your line manager.
Absolutely.
And if the line manager doesn't know how to speak with you, then now HR comes and intervenes and says, can I help you, employee, and can I help you, line manager? But we can have a good relationship, and that relationship will take care of the customer. So that's where HR comes in.
Yes.
So it is the heart and the head, and mostly the head of the organization.
And you see, HR is a leader, you know, so I'm still thinking about how do you influence a good spirit within the organization? Because a lot of, you've heard it said, people do not resign from the organization, they resign from the manager, you know.
Correct.
Now, there are a lot of staff members that are unhappy in offices. As a head of HR, how do you intervene? Yes, you're not, it's the line manager they should be thinking about. But that line manager, they're most scared of. How do you help staff that way?
I think a lot of it goes to capabilities. And capabilities here is sometimes it's technical capability of a line manager not knowing their work.
Yeah.
So they end up overworking their employees or organizing the employees in a very poor manner. So HR intervention would be to build the capabilities of the line manager. If that's not possible, to support the deployment of the line manager elsewhere, maybe within the organization. If it doesn't work, you get deployed outside, and you can have, a discussion around that. The other role of HR is also to speak to the employee, because there are some realities you will find in the workplace. You may find some workplaces which are difficult to change, and that's why I always request employees and line managers to always know who they are. And there are so many assessment tools out there of who am I, where can I work. Like there are some places I know I definitely cannot work, me as Mariah. And if I take myself there, then I should be ready to face whatever I find in that place. So that building of the awareness, and that's why we tell people, please say the truth. Because you're the one who will suffer at the end of the day. You take a wrong role, a role in banking, for example, that expects you to be on almost 24/7, because that's banking.
Yeah.
If money is being stolen, you have to be awake. So you take on that role, then you say, why is the manager calling me? Don't they know it's Sunday? Hey, you're in the wrong role. Find a place, maybe, I don't know, the UN or an organization where when you shut down at 2 p.m. on Friday, it's shut down completely. And there's an email saying, do not contact me. And it is respected. So I think it's up to us to choose the right place. So get people to help you to choose the right place and understand and get to know who you are.
Absolutely.
And then life will be okay for you.
Absolutely. I think that empowered delegation is a way of mentorship. And I find that the way of delegating in the offices, could you say something about that? I'm thinking that people who delegate because they want to get rid of the work, or, what would you think of my comment in thinking that it's mentorship in itself?
I think our delegation has really evolved in the workplace, and even in our own homes, as we can see. I think in your homes right now, if you're trying to hire a house girl, she'll ask you, muko na washing machine? Yeah, if you don't have a washing machine, I won't work for you. So the workplace has also evolved in a way that a lot of employees understand tasks and can understand tasks even very easily. The work is even ever changing. So we are now speaking more around leaders.
Yeah.
So understand what needs to be done, find the best people, organize them in a way that the team is integrated and it's delivering and it's productive, and then you get your outcomes. So there's and that would include delegating some work, but delegating work to people that for sure will deliver.
Yes.
And some of the work that is delegated, for example, there's a job of keep the team happy. And that job could be done by the CEO.
Absolutely.
It's not necessarily the secretary. It could actually be the CEO. I remember working for Bob Collymore. He took on that role of keeping us happy. And he was so happy to keep us happy as we ran the engine. So some of these delegations are you taking up what you can do with your abilities and giving other people what they can do in their abilities. But I think as a leader, ensuring that team will fully deliver what needs to be delivered. And not having...
So you look at the skills as you're delegating.
The skills, the abilities, the attitude. Sometimes you also look at what people are going through at that time. Somebody could be in a difficult mental space. Maybe they've lost their mom, or they're a caregiver for someone who's having an illness, or they're just not in the right place. So in a case like that, you just have to find, how do we work around this? How do we support them? And then, because they'll turn around, and maybe next time it will be your time. So how do you include all those people in your team and create a team that's where people are feeling like they belong for every assignment, because assignment and work changes over time.
That's interesting. So you've grown from junior positions, and you've kept growing, and you've kept growing. What do you attribute to that? What are some of the things you've done that you'd attribute to your growing to global, HR?
I think risks. I love risks. I love taking risks and challenging myself. So I remember when I left my first employer, where I'd just been promoted from a secretary to to personnel manager. I took a salary cut to go and work in another NGO because I was looking for work experience. And people thought I'm mad. How do you take
smart.
a cut? You know, you basically now have to top up money to pay your rent. But I told myself, after 12 months, I'll be a different person.
You know?
And honestly, within 3 years, I recovered.
Wow.
And got much more. So I think that risk-taking, that's putting yourself in a position where you will learn, and that knowledge, skills, and strengths will enable you to go to other places. Sometimes it was just curiosity. When I got a job offer I got 2 job offers, go to Morocco or go to Bahrain. I just felt like I wanted to go to Morocco because it was in Africa and I didn't know about Morocco. I wanted to work in a Muslim country because I wanted to say, what does it mean to be HR in a Muslim country? You know, and it was a really great experience. So I think that curiosity, I think we should all remain curious. But if we are comfortable where we are, then that's okay, because that's my personality. And I will not say that people who are not curious now should become curious.
You know?
Get to know who you are, and then create a program that works for you. So.
And bosses look for dependable people, isn't it? That people that they can depend on, they can trust.
Yeah. Many a times they do. But sometimes some bosses just look for someone to just be there and don't know how to delegate, to your earlier point. So these days we are seeing more and more employees or candidates, because I do a lot of executive recruitment, more and more people saying, who is that person you want me to go and work for? Long time people would say, I'll go. This is a big brand, I'll go. But now they're like, tell me more. So people are actually interviewing more about who is that person. And I really like it. Because the person says, come to me because I am like this and like this and like this. And if that is not the truth, the new employee will tell you,
you know.
No, you're lying. So we are getting into very interesting times that we can manage. We can manage.
You've been in organizations as the HR head or the HR director or different positions, but you've also done something for MasterCard on consultancy. You know, I think it's organizational design change.
Yes.
How was that? Which one do you prefer? You know, being in an organization or consulting and being able to...
Anything. In fact, I tell people that. They ask me, oh, do you want this job? Do you want it on permanent basis? Do you want to be a consultant? I tell them, can we please focus on the work? What do you want to deliver for the organization? So in MasterCard at that particular time, they had just come to Africa, and we had this great strategy of building 30 million jobs by 2030. And I was helping them to set up the regional hubs and, you know, to find people to look after the hubs, to do org design, how should different countries look like, and different programs. And it was quite exciting. So I like interesting, challenging work. And when the work becomes business as usual, I'll probably look for where the interest is. And that's because of who I am.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you go into organizations, there are hurdles that you have to jump, you know. What are those hurdles and how do you do it too? Because there's work politics, there's people having stuff that they prefer. How do you handle that?
I think first it's good to get to know people. And like I said earlier, generally people have good intentions. So it's good to get to know people, get to know their names, get to know what they do, get to understand what motivates them. Yeah. Because that way you'll know how to fit within that team or not fit within the team.
And so, people like to be known, to be.
Some like to be known. Some like to be known on things that are not truly them. Maybe they are adjusting to the workplace, so they have to behave in a certain way for them to survive. So you can also get to know their two sides of, if I was in my norm state, I would be this way, but because I'm here, I have to do this. So if you can get to know the both sides, it would be good. Because once you get to know people, then it's easier to work, or it's easier for you to know which places not to step, or which places to go for. Exactly. But I think what is important is understand why you are there. Why you're there. Because you're there to achieve a specific goal for the company and for yourself. And I think if you don't start with yourself, you will fail. Because many of the times we don't think about ourselves, whether we are ready for the job, whether we are getting sufficient mentorship, whether we are training. We tell the employer, oh, pay for me training. Yes, they should pay for you training sometimes. But if you don't have the skill, sort yourself out. and then come and tell the employer, because I have this skill,
Yeah.
I will do this for you. Always add value to other people.
Maria, I think communication is a very important thing in a pillar, rather, in every organization. What are those things that bring gossip, bring grapevine, how is it caused and how can it be avoided? Looking at it from a leader, from a head of HR, what would you do in an organization to avoid grapevine, gossip?
I think first is, now if I just put on my organization design hat, is you need to ensure that people are there for a reason and that they are accountable for specific work or tasks, or really they exist for a reason. So when you're doing workforce planning, can you please make sure that you don't have people who have no work to do? That's one.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Make sure
Idleness.
that idleness, yes, it
Oh,
will
wow.
creates a lot of unhealthy relationships at work. Secondly, then try and give people work that suits their skills. If you give me work that I will get done in 10 minutes, and somebody else is doing it in 10 hours, I don't know what I will do for the rest of the time. Now it will create that opportunity for me
rest,
to
yeah.
yes, exactly, and rest and for me to, should I say, waste time. So I think that's part of what we call it operating effectiveness in the workplace, the right workforce, doing the right job, they are accountable, they work reasonable hours. So just creating that organization in a way that is more professional, it will definitely minimize I would say negative relationships, bad relationships. Because gossip, I suppose, will not lead to a healthy work environment.
Absolutely.
Leads to too much conflict. So try and professionalize the organization and do it as needed. Sometimes people come, now they have a strategy for 5 years and they stay with it. But sometimes you need to actually change things as things are changing.
Yeah, because things are forever changing.
Yes.
And
yes.
talk about things are forever changing. As things are forever changing, as you've grown in your position, you keep evolving in your leadership style. How have you evolved in your leadership styles? And what has caused you to,
So I think, yes, I have evolved. Of course, there are some styles that are dominant. I think the one I've evolved probably more so, I don't know whether it's age, is more of the empathy side, spending more time on the empathy side. The one that hasn't changed is problem solving. That style of, we have a problem, everybody come together, let's figure out how to move that forward. I think the empathy side is the one that has evolved, and I think more so because I've seen over the years more, should I say, a mental and healthy workplace. Yeah, people come to work and you can see that person is going through something. You can see and tell. So we have to lean into that emotional and mental side.
to find out how they are?
Yes, how they are. Otherwise, you can't go designing an organization without considering the mental state of your employees, which are ever changing. And the most important person whose mental health you look out for is your CEO.
Oh,
That's,
wow.
yeah, it's not about all these other employees, but also your CEO.
I
That
didn't
level.
think much about that.
It's very important because they have a big job and a very, very difficult job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And rarely do we think about them. We think more about the ones are down.
Exactly. You always think the CEO is sorted, he or she, is qualified, they know what they're doing. But sometimes they do need help. Actually, many a times they do need help. And some of the help is, hey, Maria, can you just get your work done?
Yeah.
So we need to look after them too.
Okay.
Yeah.
As we come towards the end, I want you to look into that camera. Looking at a young lady, that is growing, a feeling, their light is being dimmed, What can they do, And there's politics and they're scared. How do you encourage them,
I'd tell them to stick to who they are. You have so much within you. Understand what it is that you have to offer. Get better at it all the time. Stand tall and walk.
Oh, wow.
If it means for you to challenge your mother, your father, your neighbor, Your pastor in church, do it. Because you're made and created in the image of God, and God wants you to succeed, and there's a future ahead for you.
Oh, beautiful. Wow. We've been talking to Mariah, Ligaga, Shipiri, and this has been a good conversation. I've enjoyed talking to you. I've enjoyed, your insights. Now, viewers, we're talking from Novotel, the place where you'd like to be. A place that is pleasant, a place that is beautiful, and a place that many people should be having their meetings at. This has been Women in Leadership, The Power Within. I've been your host, Julia Ombasi. We've been talking to Mariah, Ligaga, Shipiri. And until next time, when we can talk to more women that are shaping the world today, this is Julia Ombasi. Thank you.